Hey everyone, I bought a crash cage from ImpakTech for my 2021 Ninja ZX6R and I have mixed feelings about it. Let me tell you what I mean. Alright, so a crash cage is meant to protect your bike against straps or in the event of a crash. Now, ImpakTech says that this cage in particular offers an insane amount of protection. And since I had a minor accident on my bike a couple of months ago that cost me $1,600, I went ahead and pulled the trigger and bought this. And like I said, I have mixed feelings about it. There are things I like, there are things I don't like. Let me start with the things I like. So first is the added peace of mind. I like thinking that in the event of a crash, the vital parts of the bike are going to be protected and nothing's going to happen. Like I mentioned a while back, I took off on my bike on a cold day. I gave it a little bit of gas, just like I have done many other times, and the rear tire spinned, causing the bike to get out from under me. It fell on its side and it broke a couple of pieces, and it cost me $1,600 to fix it. With this cage, I'm hoping that if I ever drop my bike, which it's something I'm not planning to do, the engine parts are going to be protected and the cost of fixing the bike is going to be minimal. Number two, the style. I mean, look at this thing. Look at it. It makes the bike look a lot more rugged and aggressive. I don't know, it looks like a transformer. I really like it. I dig it. I went with the Kawasaki green color, which matches the accent that my bike already has. So for example, here it matches exactly the color of the spring on the rear shock. It's really nice looking, and the whole metal mesh concept gives the bike a very rough, aggressive look that I really like. Number three, it does not obstruct my legs. Now, when I ordered the cage, I was a bit worried that it was going to be too close to my legs and that it would be a problem. I'm short and I sit very close to the tank, so I was thinking that my legs were going to be touching the metal, but nope, not at all. When I'm sitting on the bike, my legs don't even know that this thing exists. There's like a good, I want to say 5 or 6 inches of clearance between your shins and the metal, so there's really not going to be any problem at all. Braking, shifting, hugging the tank, you won't know the cage is there when you're riding. And finally, number 4, lifetime warranty. Now, according to ImpakTech, the crash cage will not bend or break under any circumstances.
So we are the only company in the industry that offers a lifetime warranty. Every single one of our crash cages comes with a lifetime warranty. If you break any of our welds, we will make sure that the company gives you a replacement crash cage.
So if you crash, if you drop it, if anything happens, the cage is not supposed to break, the metal is not supposed to bend, and if it does, then they'll give you a new cage for free. That is nice. But, like I said, it's not all unicorns and rainbows. There are a few things I don't like about the cage. Number 1, the weight. This is the first piece. It's kind of heavy. It's very heavy, actually. Wow. Very heavy, very heavy. I thought it was going to be a little bit lighter, but it's quite heavy. The metal is heavier than I expected, and it makes the bike way less flickable. This means you won't be able to swerve as quickly as you used to, and that's kind of a problem. I mean, nobody wants to think that in case of an emergency, you're going to hit something because you couldn't swerve in time to avoid an obstacle. That's pretty bad. And I guess this happens because the cage is on the sides of the bike, and that changes the geometry of the weight distribution, thus requiring more force to move the bike from side to side. ImpakTech says the cage weighs 14 pounds, although it feels a little bit heavier than that to me. I think I'm starting to get used to it. At the beginning, I felt like really heavy. Now I'm starting to get used to it, so I'll give it some more time and see what I think of it a little bit later. But I do not like the fact that the bike feels much slower to swerve. Number 2, the bird's eye view of the bike. Alright, so when I said I dig the way the bike looked with the cage, I was half lying. I do love the way it looks from the sides, like how it looks from here and here. That looks quite amazing. But from the top, like this view right here, I do not like that at all. It makes it look wider. It reminds me of one of those cruiser bikes that are super wide and heavy and not cool. So I really do not like this look in the slightest. Number 3, the cage obstructs the oil filter. Now, I plan on changing the oil on the bike myself. I haven't done it yet, but that's what I'm planning to do. And it so happens that the cage blocks access to the filter. That means that when I change the oil, what I'm going to have to do is try to finagle my way around the cage so that I could remove the oil filter, or I am going to have to remove the cage before I change the oil. And so I guess that's not too big of a problem, but I don't want to be removing the cage every time I have to change the oil. So I'm going to try to see what I can find to maybe remove the oil filter underneath the cage without having to taking it off. So we'll see how that pans out, but I do not like the fact that it obstructs the oil filter. Number 4, the screws for the pucks are very unsightly. They look really bad. Like, I'm not really sure why they didn't design this so that the screws for the pucks would be hidden away. Many other things that I've seen. When you have an unsightly screw, what they do is they do like a little, they make like a little pouch, and the screw goes inside the pouch, and there's like a little cover that covers the head, and it looks nice and flush. They opted not to do that, and instead the big gigantic heads of the screws, they look like a blemish on an otherwise beautiful piece of metal, and I really don't like that. Same goes for these things. Like who made the decision to leave these things open-ended like this? I don't think that looks good at all. And finally, number 5, and this isn't really a dislike, this is more like an honorable mention. It is that the brake reservoir is no longer straight, it's now tilted. And again, this is not a big deal. I really don't mind it. I got mine to be only slightly tilted, like I try to make it super straight. I wish they would have designed this in a way that they would have given us an extension that would have kept the brake reservoir being straight as opposed to being tilted like it is now. Not a big deal, doesn't bother me, but I thought I would just mention it so that you would be aware that when you do install this, the brake reservoir is going to be a little tilted like that. Alright, so those are the things I like and dislike about the cage. Overall, I really like it. The one major concern that I have is the fact that the bike is now less flickable, but I think with time, I'll just get used to it. Anyway guys, that's been it. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned for more videos as I plan to share my experience with my Ninja ZX6R. I'll see you next time.